the most delayed, one of the more controversial titles over the past couple of months for some odd reason. Assassin's Creed Shadows is out. It's not out, but it's in early access, which pretty much means it's out. Reviews are dropping. People, all your favorite content creators have already uploaded their reviews from the review copies. It's officially released at this point. Day one patches, notes have already been, it's out basically. And it's funny because the game review wise seems to kind of be in line of what we all said in previous pods of like, this looks pretty good. And the reviews are like, it's pretty good, right? Like it's not something that's going to bring you back to the Assassin's Creed franchise if you're off it. It's not something that revolutionizes the formula. It's not going to be the single game that saves Ubisoft, but it's pretty good, right? And my thought to that is, like I said before, I think Shadows kind of gets an unfair rep because it was being developed during the time where like the perception of Ubisoft changed, right? So it's like Far Cry 6, kind of not bad, but Then you get Star Wars Outlaws, which is divisive at best, let's say.
Star Wars Outlaws.
And you have people who do really like it, but you shared those clips, and I was like, "This is not." This ain't.
Should have just been Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
3.0.
Yeah. Like y'all are making those Respawn games look even better at this point, by comparison. So I think like Shadows kind of got that unfair aspect of like there was more eyes on it because Ubisoft kept having so many back-to-back failures. Prince of Persia, for as much as I picked that game up, in Ubisoft eyes, was a financial failure. So I think Shadows kind of got put on this platform where you can kind of tell that it wasn't maybe meant to be the thing that it ended up having to be. It's like when the Cash Money Great Departure came, it's like instead of going to Lil Wayne, they told Lil Chucky to get up there and do his best. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like it ain't. We're not getting the Carter 2 bars. Is basically what I'm trying to say. So what do you think about the reception to Shadow? Do you think that is something that were you surprised by any of the reviews you might have come across, or surprised by the
I didn't think it was
reception?
going to be a good game. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be a good game only because it's Ubisoft. They're just trash. Like they're not to me. They're not special.
I mean, they. I don't want to say they're not special. I think they've kind of lost what made them special.
But opinion. nobody who was special is there anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Fair.
It's like Tampa. For example, the Patriots. Is anybody talking about the Patriots anymore?
Fair.
No, because there's no Tom Brady. There's no XYZ. There's no Elliott. There's no Randy Moss. It's not it's not the Patriots anymore. And so like is it the Miami 3? Is 2010 Miami Heat? No, it's not.
Right.
Nobody,
it's the 2025 Miami Heat.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of no names, no aspiration, no good writers. All of them only got to creative writing 1, and that was it. And that's that. You see that. That there. I didn't think it was going to be a good game. I didn't think anybody was gonna. I didn't think it was going to sell. I just think there were certain things that weren't wise protagonist wise as far as who they chose. If you were gonna, you should have just did 3 protagonists. That would have worked. 2 Asian people, then Yasuke. In my opinion, that would have been a perfect out of perfect. But the flack I didn't understand because you can find Yasuke in Neo. He's in Neo. Obsidian Samurai. I don't know who you guys think that is, but it's
pretty clear.
Pretty clear. And so for me, you hear different things from different people, different Japanese folks, just Japanese folks that tell you no, Yasuke was a real. So it's like I don't know where is it willful ignorance because I knew about Yasuke 10 years ago.
He had a whole Netflix animated series.
Yeah,
and I don't remember seeing this much like outrage of it being greenlit.
There's a lot of things I don't understand. Like, okay, why? Okay, we when we where was this outrage for uh not Marvel vs. Capcom, Resident Evil 5, right? Okay, I myself didn't get offended, right? Cool. What else? If you're in Africa, what else? Who else? And there's zombies there. What else is gonna happen? You're gonna
Hmm.
be. Do I think Chris Redfield's a racist? No. I
Right.
just understood within the context of Resident Evil, which was made by Japanese people, they didn't find anything offensive about it. So now why find anything offensive about the if you know this outsider works for Nobunaga, who else is he gonna fight?
Hmm.
Who else is he gonna kill?
And I guess
You
like
know?
I don't know if it's just there's like a shift at some point. Like before we started recording, I kind of brought up Ghost of Tsushima, which I will bring up again during this conversation. But to me, I'm like, since when was historical accuracy this important? I can't recall. I can't recall God of War being like Icarus wasn't even alive at this time. How is Kratos using his wings? Like since when? Why is this game being held to the highest pinnacle of historical accuracy?
Well, because the person now, even though Kratos was probably designed to be a brother. I
Mm,
don't know if you ever unlocked that skin for Forgotten Warrior
mm,
for
mm,
God of War 3.
mm.
You can pull it up, Forgotten Warrior skin, and you
Okay.
tell me what you think.
Okay.
It's a black dude. You feel me? He got the
Mm,
dreads and the whole armor. Um, but yeah, I don't understand this duality. Like it's not consistent. And that's my only thing. And when you point it out, it's like, oh man, stop. It's not race baiting. It's just you are so close to the thing that you say you're not.
mm,
This is the same rhetoric those people who do hate say. So it's very hard for anybody to differentiate you and you being insensitive and well, you don't even have to care, but you like if you do differentiate yourself and you're not, don't use vocabulary to kind of put yourself there. That's
mm,
all I'm saying.
mm.
For your well-being, for your sake, for people to hear your voice versus grouping you with a bunch of people just casting you off to the side because you sound just like them.
Right.
Um, I just didn't understand the outrage because I'm like, yo, Yasuke wasn't even a bad person. It's getting to the point to like, oh, he didn't exist. I mean, they have his name there for a reason. It's not off of no if it's not off of nothing.
Right.
So like people read the sources and they can't even prove whether it is or not. They just don't want it to be something.
Right. Well, we
So
can't prove that he didn't, but we can't prove that he did. So therefore, why is he doing it? I'm like,
and then
again, this is a
you have
fictional game.
and it exactly so we know Leonardo da Vinci wasn't making devices for Ezio,
Right.
but you
I'm
let
like,
him
it's
do
not
it
a historical retelling. None of them have been from day one.
from day one. And at the same time, how many people does Desmond? So you use a machine called the algorithm or whatever, and it's Desmond again, Asian Desmond, Samoan Desmond, African Desmond, uh, Arab Desmond. So I'm like, yo, y'all ain't got no problem with. I'm like, this storyline was trash, and like it was getting crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Native American Desmond. So
Right.
I'm like,
My
at what
man just had
point?
a whole entire lineage of alphas. It was just
Sweden Desmond. You feel me? Like, and I'm just okay. Y'all boys are like, yo, when is this gonna end? Like, honestly, um, for those that are for those that are having problems with the character being real, like this character is not a created. This conversation and documentaries are already on Yasuke that pre-existed, not influenced by Japanese people that found it interesting.
yeah,
I
that
remember Yasuke when I was like, what, 10 years ago, 2009, 2007, when I discovered, Afro Samurai is inspired by,
yeah.
you get what I'm saying? So
No,
it's
yeah.
it's not,
That's
you
but
have,
that's
and
all
it,
that's all I'm saying. Like I'm agreeing with you in a different way in terms of just like I just don't understand why this game has become the game that has to quote unquote get it right compared to anything else. And it's not even like a character with merit, where, like you said, it's not like he didn't exist. Whether or not you want to nitpick at his accomplishments, like we can all agree he exists. Yes.
he was a retainer.
No, but he
He was a
existed,
retainer.
correct?
But
Yes.
he was a retainer. And you know what? You know what's
Mm.
crazy? There's a movie called Ninja Scroll. You know the first time I heard about a retainer? from that movie. Guess what Returners were?
I don't know.
Swordsman.
But S rank, were they wall busting samurai that used to throw men side to side and maneuver through ancient Japan and
If that's the case, you're a ninja, you should only attack at night. That's it. That's it. You should only attack at night.
Right. If we're going for historical accuracy above
Historical
all else.
accuracy. If we're gonna go for that, then let the combats be just it should be the Bushido blade. You get hit one time, kid. That's it. You're not dodging musket bullets.
Right.
You get hag with that musket bullets.
Right.
That's my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay. Like, I don't like, y'all stress the truth. Do we think that the Dutch horse? If you want to do Pirates of the Caribbean, go ahead. Do it. Do it.
Right. It's a work of fiction inspired by true events.
And then of course the romance was another topic. The English is like, okay, they're just doing what they want at this point, for like, I'm like, is this important in an Assassin's Creed game? Not to me. But it's there. You have the option to, just like you did in Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3.
The games they love, by the way. But
with aliens. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, it's like, I understand. It's because it was coming at the expense of this generation of people being forced a message that people might not agree with.
Absolutely.
And because of that, because the message was taking priority over the gameplay, this was just the tail end of that frustration. It's reached the pinnacle of that. Right? We don't tell me how to play my game. Don't tell me what my characters can say. Don't tell me this is an open world game and I can't punch this person in the face that I want to punch in the face. Even if I don't want to in real life or in the game, give me the option to. That's pretty much why people like Grand Theft Auto.
Right. You can do whatever you want and deal with the consequences.
And deal with the consequences as well. But at the same time, it's your gameplay tailored to what you put money into. Don't tell me what choices I can make and what I can't make. If I don't want this character in my party, I'm offing them.
And the wild thing is that from all the reviews that I gathered, it's like, other than a couple of like obviously story related beats, you don't ever have to play as one over the other. You can pick between Naoe or Yasuke at almost any given point past a certain point in the game. So it's not like I'm being forced to play this character. You don't ever have to play with him if you really don't want to. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing where I'm like, that's why like it's hard for me when we talk about stuff like this, because you're right. I think it's maybe catching a bullet that it wasn't a bullet that wasn't intended for it in a lot of ways. And it doesn't help that Ubisoft has kind of been mailing in their delivery when it comes to the games of like, it's not like I can defend an amazing game, I'm like, hush, you button pushers. It's like, I get it. Their creative peak is clearly behind them. That being said, these arguments that are being built up, I'm like you said, where is this same type of anger with Mass Effect? Where is this same type of like it just feels very misdirected. Essentially, it's kind of what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, there was anger towards Mass Effect because it was just bad. Like, that's the thing.
But we've said that before. Bad writing is bad writing. If something is bad writing, you have all. I'll mute up, right? I'm like, by all means, firing squad.
Andromeda broke my heart, man. Andromeda was like this Playboy Cardi album. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't listen to Playboy Cardi guys. I'm just saying, like, I'm hearing the stuff and I'm just like, this is what you asked for. It was headed down this way anyway. No lyrics. Hobson said it himself.
Vibes.
You know what I'm saying?
Emotions.
It's just vibes, bro.
Yeah.
So now we turn to EDM music ourselves. I never thought I'd see the day. Never thought I'd see the day.
It reminds me of this meme video I saw like 5 years ago where it's like music, and because the thing is like the and this is like completely off topic, but it was just funny. It's like they're like, the meme was like, music is homogenizing so much that by like, I think they said like the 2030s, it will just be noise across all genres. No genres will have lyrics. It'll just be, you'll know it by the beat of like, this is an R&B vibe, but there will be no. lyrics that
Yeah,
make
words
sense, that
getting away.
resonate.
Words getting away. The very tool God used to speak life into existence, it gets in the way.
Oh my goodness.
We're not telepathic, guys. I don't get
Instrumentation, the album. But yeah,
then that.
getting back on
Yeah,
topic, I just think like, well, I guess let's shift the conversation a little bit, right? Because I think this is also an interesting angle of it. Where would you agree or disagree, or do you think it's fair or unfair when a game is forever now compared to a certain benchmark in the genre? So to give an example, and I've said this before, right? Although the gameplay didn't appeal to me, and that's why I never played Baldur's Gate 3, I think when it comes to the games that provide you a level of choice, Baldur's Gate 3 has now become the new standard of like, oh, I've seen what's possible, and it needs to at least be this, if not higher, right? So I said that to Assassin's Creed Shadow of like, y'all made the mistake of letting Ghost of Tsushima drop first, and now, just like Rise of Ronin, you're going to get compared to Ghost of Tsushima, and it needs to be, or maybe it doesn't. That's what I'm asking. Does it need to be as good, if not better?
it has to, because you have Ubisoft money.
Hmm.
There's no excuse for you.
Right.
You
You're
have
not an indie
Ubis.
developer.
You're not an indie developer. You have
Mm,
Ubisoft money. You have Ubisoft resources. You guys can pull strings if you wanted to make the game look like Grand Theft Auto. You guys can do that.
mm.
Do your shareholders have to pay their rent at the end of the month? That's a different question,
I mean, the
right?
way Ubisoft is going,
Then
maybe.
you
Like,
feel me?
it might be getting to like, yo,
Are
flop
your
after
investors
flop.
living
Oh
above their
man.
means? You know, that should
Mm,
be a rule. Like, hey, listen, if you can't pay for this investment 3 times over, we don't want your money
right. If you're not
because
okay
you're
with getting
gonna.
your money back in maybe 3 to 5 years,
Yeah, we
please,
don't want nothing to
by
do with
all
you.
means. Yeah.
Kick the bucket,
Yeah.
please. We'll continue to make our cell phone games. Goodbye.
Mm,
You're destroying an avenue of resources for people that actually understand the market.
mm,
Get get out of here.
right.
But um, I think like honestly, just with this whole thing, and it's gonna cannibalize itself because it's just too extreme to the point where it's not driven by actual merit anymore. When it was.
Mm,
You had a few sensible people speaking up, but now it just seems like you're deliberately looking for every inch. Just and now you're becoming what the very thing you get mad at people accusing you of being. You know,
mm, mm,
well, because you just keep cannibalizing yourself. There was a time I went through a heartbreak, and you looked at a certain you should looked at women a certain way, but it wasn't realistic. It
mm,
wasn't true. You know, it wasn't true. There were commonalities, consistencies,
right.
but now I was able to differentiate what is and what is not versus just going down a path. Everything is just gray versus everything is just red. Attack everything like a bull. That's not the truth.
Mm,
Um, and so like with this, I think with Assassin's Creed, they made a mistake without not coming out first.
yeah.
You know, um, they said, "Hey, Assassin's Creed, y'all not making a samurai game? Not yet? Well, y'all still want to do what? Y'all want to go to England again? Oh,
Right.
okay. Fine. I'll do it myself. And
Mm-hmm.
then now it's out.
Reality is often disappointing.
Sh- But now reality can be
Whatever.
whatever I want. You did it to yourself, dog. You had the opportunity to drop something and you didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Saints Row had the opportunity to be um and it was going to become just as good, in my opinion, as Grand Theft Auto. They would have gotten the money. And you want to play Grand Theft Auto without the cheat codes and mods? Play Saints Row. And
Right.
the script is hilarious.
Yes.
Grand Theft Auto could never, and that's true. How do you think Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat, and Street Fighter came about? They all created their own paths.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
While while
Killer
building on
Instinct
what was
said,
already established.
we're building what was already established. Killer Instinct said, hey, let's take our favorite action movies and make different versions of them. Full gore,
Mm.
Predator,
Mm-hmm.
Glacius, T1000.
Mm-hmm.
And now the T1000 trying to catch up to Glacius. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy. You was already there.
Yeah. And now, of course, right, the T1000 is being regarded as one of the greatest guest characters in MK1. And I'm like, well, of course it is. Because for once, they got it. They didn't hit the recycle button like they did with Omni-Man and Homelander. They're like, we need to make our own version of Mortal Kombat's
And
Glacius.
all y'all could have did was just be like Dragon Ball Z, to where they used the comic book references to create their combos.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you had to do. Fighter Z is loved because of everything they took attention to detail. But it's just Arc System Works, who loves anime secretly. They gave you a 3 hour anime within the game of Guilty Gear, and you didn't even ask for it. They tell you what they
They
like.
expanded on Kill la Kill. Kill la Kill.
And so you have a bunch of animators that also love games equally.
Mm-hmm.
So it's bleeding into each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those are beautiful mishaps, beautiful things colliding together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with Assassin's Creed, man, like they're just they're so comfortable with what they're doing and how they do it. Like you can't tell them anything, and then when it's too late, they have to play catch up. Like it shouldn't have been this bad for you guys to realize, yo, we better make good games again. Why are we making Assassin's Creed dropping it like it's Madden? It's not.
Right.
And it's getting worse and worse and worse because we have to release it so frequently. Whose idea was this? And now we don't even have an identity for ourselves. We
True.
lost the very essence. So now imagine if Sucker Punch decides to do a Middle Eastern game where you're an assassin. Good luck, Assassin's Creed.
Right.
It's over.
Right. Or imagine if like the Just Cause developers decide they want to make their own third person adventure version of Far Cry Primal. With the physics system that they had in the Just Cause games, you might as well.
Good luck. Signing out.
Yeah.
Signing out. Signing out. I think it's a lot of things, man. You don't even have the talent anymore. Where are you gonna find that talent? Who's gonna want to commit to a company like that? You know what I'm saying? Like most people right now, they want stability. And if you're not, and if I have the desire to be just as good as my favorite developer or CEO, if I have a Jordan mentality or Steve Jobs mentality, I'm not taking my talents to you.
Mm-hmm.
I might as well just do it myself with other talented people. I'm starting to see these things happen.
Yeah.
Right? Like these Chinese companies are smashing it with 30 people.
Yeah. Or you look at something where they're not American based, but the company that did Split Fiction, they're based out of Sweden. It's 80 people, and they can't keep Split Fiction on the shelves, bro. It did like 2 million, I think, first week, something like that.
And who did Astrobot? Wasn't it a French company that did Astrobot?
Japanese. I think
Japanese?
the creative director is French, I believe.
Oh, okay,
But it's a
okay.
Japanese based team.
I mean, yeah, and I
And
think
that team was underneath 100 people. I believe. I'm sure someone can correct us in the comments, but I'm like, I don't think, you know.
And it's like, yeah, you asked for it, man. You
Mm-hmm.
asked for it. One of the games that they had that game came out very fast because they had a budget, they had money to spend. That EA game that was like Monster Hunter. But there's two mistakes that you guys made. Everwilds, I think was called.
And the name sounds familiar, but go on. I'll look it up.
Wild Hearts or something like that. Let me see.
I have no idea.
And then not it just died.
That's like, oh, I think it wasn't it Ubisoft that
Wild
made that?
Hearts.
There was some
Wild
type of,
Hearts.
I think it was like a free to play game, right? And like
Yeah.
It was EA that made that.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes!
It was sponsored by EA. EA funded it, I guess. Let me see.
That
No,
sucks.
developers was Koei Tecmo Games, Omega Force. Here's the mistake that they made. When you're doing games like that, you don't copy Monster. You see what Monster Hunter's not doing,
Mm-hmm.
and then you do it.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have those entrapments. That's a plus. That ever cube that can transform into several different things. That's perfect. I thought you guys did a terrible job with the animal creation design. I don't want to play games where the animals are plants as well. Cringy.
Mm.
Unless this is like an insect, it's not going to work.
Mm.
I don't want to see a rat made of grass. I don't want to see that.
Mm.
You could have easily did yourself, hey, let's make ourselves a fake Attack on Titan. And it just in feudal Japan setting, fantasy Japan.
Mm.
You could have done that. You could have done humanoids. You could have done both.
Mm.
You could have, okay, Monster Hunter doesn't allow you to scale the world. You could fight anywhere and everywhere. You want to fight on that type of mountain cliffside? We take the battle there. He's going to be hanging on that vine, and that's the combat you're going to have to deal with. That's what you would do, but they wanted to do a carbon copy, cut and paste, and you pay for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So with Assassin's Creed, we were asking you when we wanted it. You let us live it for 4 games when we were asking for it. That's the time you should have did it,
Yeah.
and you didn't do it because okay, I'm a Middle Eastern assassin. It fits. Okay, we're going to Egypt. Cool. What's next? Greek mythology. Uh, I mean, y- you better than God of War.
No.
Uh, what's next after this? Vikings? Oh. So you guys want to now? You saw God of War turn to a North mythology. Now you want to do North mythology. Is it better than God of War? Again?
Oh.
No, no. So now, wait, you want to do Japan finally? Oh my gosh, thank God. But wait, is it better than Ghost of Tsushima?
Right. Do you have a Isekai level of character writing? Oh, you don't.
No, it's not. It's not. So then what? It didn't board meetings. Hey, why doesn't our game look like this? Well, we tried to tell you day one, but you told us to add this character and this character, and you didn't tell me that this was a bad idea. We did. You're fired. I mean, when you run a company like that, I mean, that what do you? To me, this is just me guessing and improvising. I don't know honestly what these guys are thinking, but at the same time, why would we give you what you want?
To me, like I said, I think, and we can move on to another topic after this. But I
Yeah,
think it's one of those
I'm
things
glad
where
it's
it's like,
doing good. I was gonna
yeah,
buy this game out of spite.
yeah.
I'm
Apparently,
glad
like
it's
it looks
better.
good visually, right? It's a lot better than some games previous. It's not as bloated as Valhalla or whatever the case may be.
I mean,
I
is the
think
combat fun? Are these
it's
games
pretty
like
good.
Is Assassin's Creed draws you into this world of fighting?
That's
They're
what
not. They're like
that's
the
what I'm
most
saying.
cook. Like they're sticky notes, man. They're
Mm,
not. They're just sticky notes, whatever that color is. But
mm,
it's the most uninteresting, non-memorable color. I forget stuff on sticky notes because of that color.
mm,
It's so boring.
mm.
That's what Assassin's Creed has been. It's nothing interesting. And if you're gonna go to Supernatural, I'll just do it. Just make a different spin-off game, man. Assassin's Creed don't have to come out. We don't care about no historically. Because if it's not historic, you guys can't even do it historically.
Right,
Leonardo da Vinci wasn't making no Batman contraptions.
right,
So
right,
just say loosely. Just say loosely.
right.
Just say loosely. You overpromised on something that you can't do.
The fruit from the garden of good and evil, or the tree of good and evil, was not a computer program
The
made from
man had a
the end.
Dragon Ball
Yeah.
at the end of part one, making a wish. Having
Like,
to deal with
yeah,
Aaron Al Ragu has Ragul, kid. Like,
historical accuracy was not at the forefront of this series from day one.
but he turned to Jafar.
I don't know, bro. I think it's just one of those things where, like I said, I think in summary, it's. I think I'm relieved that the game is not going to be judged on it being bad. right? I'm glad that it's forced the naysayers to at least move from that. But like I said at the beginning, like I just don't think that Ubisoft did enough to warrant defending the game either. Right? It's like someone's like, I just thought it was the same, more Assassin's Creed. I'm like, well, that's might as well saying it's a bad game. You know, like it being a better version of a previous Assassin's Creed still makes it a bad game because, like you said, we've seen this formula for the past 15 years. You know, like it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I know you're an assassin. What's the story now? What is it that you're making more stuff interesting? No. Oh, another hay stack in Egypt?
Right.
Okay.
Another leap of faith.
Another leap of faith. This time I get a peregrine eagle, a peregrine falcon, I mean, you know, versus a can I swim? I still can't swim. And I'm an assassin. Why isn't there anything gameplay where I'm going into the aqueduct? That's what I have with that's the problem I have with these
Well, you can swim
developers.
in this game. You can. You
Oh,
can
the
actually,
Yasuke one?
yeah. Like I think Naoe, she even has because they added more to her stealth mechanics where I think you can sneak up on somebody like underwater and use like a bamboo shoot to make sure you can still breathe, so you can actually sneak up on people. So you could swim for more or less. You know, so like again, a better Assassin's Creed, but given that's why I asked the question about where the bar is now, because I'm like, to me, I'm like, it's only unfair if you're enough removed from that genre. But if you tell me a Japanese anything samurai, shinobi, or otherwise inspired, Ghost of Tsushima immediately is going to come up, and that's just what it is. We get it to Rise of Ronin, we definitely gonna do it to you. You know, like that's just kind of what it is.
But Rise of Ronin didn't even stand a chance, dog.
That's what happens when people say
The thing with Tecmo Koei don't want to spend money either. So you see their games,
they kind of pick and choose. It's weird. I'm like, y'all coasted on that, but Dynasty Warrior Origins, you guys tried really hard. I'm like, that's weird. Like usually you guys coast on Dynasty Warriors.
They had to. Dynasty Warriors, when it was out, it was the next best thing. But then they dropped the same thing again.
Mm-hmm.
So how many times am I gonna remix Party Like a Rockstar?
Right.
How many times am I gonna remix This Is Why I'm Hot?
Right.
Oh, this is the one with Ludacris? This the one with Andre 3 Stacks? This the one with Paul Wall? Oh, this the one with Lil Wayne and Paul Wall?
Right. We gotta admit, at some
Lego
point,
pieces.
Busta Rhymes' Touch It remixes were starting to get a little ridiculous. I think the mega cut was like 10 minutes long. I'm like, all right, Busta.
Mega cut.
Yeah, it's like
Megatron mixed it himself.
We gotta kind of let's trim the fat here somewhere.
The Carter 9. Okay, I guess you.
Yeah.
The Carter 9.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we'll revisit this topic to some degree once the official sales numbers are out. I don't know. I mean, we talked about it long enough. I just think it's one of those things where I'm like, it's not the company ending game that people predicted it was going to be, but it's also not the game saving game that we predicted it to be, like predicted it not to be. It's just one of those things where like it's a pretty good depending on your tolerance for Assassin's Creed, and if you don't play it, you're not missing anything. And I'm like, well, that's not going to get it done. And it doesn't help that Ghost of Yote is dropping this year, and if it's even slightly better than Ghost of Tsushima, then they're really going to get you out of here, woman protagonists or not. You know, like,
oh no, it's gonna be great.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like
it's just
all those complaints from the tired of this people will matter nothing if the game is amazing.